Hello, welcome and thanks for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that are coming up in the next few months as well. Don't feel like you need to make notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, then please just feel free to drop them into the Q&A box at the side at any time. I'll do my best to keep an eye on these as we go along, but there's also going to be some dedicated time for those questions at the end of the webinar. So the agenda for today. First up, OneDrive is getting an export as PDF function. You'll soon be able to apply watermarks to PDFs in SharePoint and OneDrive. Teams chats are going to become easier to navigate. Copilot summaries will be available across a couple more Microsoft apps. And custom Outlook notification sounds. And lastly, what's next? So as always, it's good to see so many of you coming back and joining us today, and welcome, of course, to all of the new faces as well. Let's just start with a quick introduction to Bedroq. My name is Craig Mundy, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Bedroq. You might even recognize my voice from other videos on our website or YouTube channel. Now, Bedroq is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft solutions partner for modern work. And this means that most of the IT that we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. So that's everything from Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, etc. And we're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. We work with organizations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. And we manage mission critical IT and operational technology for those highly regulated organizations. The most important thing that we want to achieve, no matter what your organization does, is to make sure that your IT strategy is supporting your business as a whole. And we do this with the help of our 8 strategic rocks. And you can see these in the slide here. Data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of this webinar series, as most of the Microsoft 365 apps that we're talking about are collaboration tools. Now, many of the people that we've come across have invested heavily into their IT. They've got all the apps and they've got the best Microsoft licenses, but they're not using them to their full potential and therefore not seeing the best return on investment either. So really, that's the aim of this webinar series, to keep you up to date with everything that's coming out and everything that you can start to implement that you've probably already got, and hopefully make a big difference to your business strategy. I've got one last thing I'd like to just touch on before we get into the content for today. I talked a bit about this last month, but still relevant just now. So I'm sure all of you have heard and read about the fairly recent cyber attacks that hit the retailers M&S, Harrods, and Co-op. And we know now that in all 3 cases, it was done through social engineering, which is through manipulating the humans on the support desk to get passwords changed or to learn some information that helps them get into the system. Now, recovery from something like this can be a lengthy and costly process, so it's increasingly important for any organization of any size to be prepared for these sorts of attacks, and because they're becoming more and more common. And as I've said, Bedroq has a lot of experience working with organizations with high security requirements. We have cybersecurity specialists who use these sorts of events as ways to improve our own systems and offerings. We're Cyber Essentials accredited, and we're also part of the National Cybersecurity Centre Industry 100, meaning that we have a lot of knowledge and guidance to share with you. So if you're worried about cyber attacks, then please just get in touch and we can discuss best practice, consult on what your organization is doing to prepare, understanding the why behind these attacks, as well as even offering some training to bring you and your team up to speed. So if this is something that you're interested in learning a little bit more about, then just drop myself an email or go through the contact page on our website and we'll set up a meeting with our cybersecurity experts. Okay, on to the updates then. And first up, we've got an update coming to OneDrive. OneDrive will soon be getting a new export as PDF function. This feature is going to be available for all Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files. This new option can be found in the 3-dot menu of files in your OneDrive. It provides a really simple method for you to convert files into PDFs. And why might you want to do that? Well, there's a few reasons behind using PDF formatting that I'll highlight just now. Universal compatibility. PDFs tend to look the same on any device and operating system. It preserves formatting, so layouts, fonts, and images stay intact, preventing any accidental changes. Security options. PDFs can be easily password protected or encrypted. Generally, they are a smaller file size as well. They tend to just be a bit more compact. It's not always the way compared to Microsoft Office files, but on the whole, they can be smaller. And also, they leave you with a professional appearance, as they're just ideal for final distribution, sharing, and sending to printers as well. Now, of course, with PDFs, there's also going to be their downsides, like they're harder to edit without specific and expensive software, and you'll lose some interactivity. So your animations in PowerPoint, for example. However, if you're sending information to customers and you want peace of mind that they cannot accidentally edit it, and you want it to have that professional and clean look, then PDFs are going to be the way to go. Now, when a file is exported as a PDF using this new function, the resulting document will be saved in the same parent folder as the original file, making it easy to keep a tab on where the different versions are saved. For shared files, the new PDF will be created in the root of your OneDrive, which just means that main folder of your OneDrive account when you first fire up or click on it in your file manager. And so it won't be placed in any of the subfolders within that. Now, please note that the use of this feature is subject to the appropriate sensitivity label, information rights management protection settings, and having permission to download the file. So after the rollout of this update, if you're having issues using this feature, then please speak to your IT teams, as they will be able to check the settings and permissions. Now, if you're having issues with, say, one of the shared files, then make sure you talk to the owner of that file or whoever it was that shared it with you, as they should be able to change the permissions to allow you to download the file as necessary. Being able to quickly export as a PDF should help save you a few clicks, as when you do it when the file is open, it can take a few steps to get it saved in the right place and actioned properly. So this might even be especially useful if you're doing a few all at once from the same OneDrive, rather than having to open up each file individually, then save it as a PDF. This update is due mid-June to mid-July, so hopefully not too long to wait for this one. So sticking with the theme of PDFs and OneDrive, although this feature also works for files in SharePoint as well. You're soon going to be able to add text or image watermarks to PDFs in SharePoint and OneDrive. On this slide, you can see an example of both of these. On the left, this is the text version, and on the right, you've got the image watermark. I'll just talk you through the steps of adding text watermarks now. So open your PDF of choice that is stored in OneDrive or SharePoint, and then select Edit at the top right of the screen. Then click on Watermark from the top menu. By default, it should be on the text option, but just double check that. And then enter your text of choice, choose the formatting and color, adjust the font size, transparency, and rotation. And then for position, you can see a 3x3 grid in that bottom left-hand panel there. And this lets you choose from top left, top center, top right, middle left, middle center, middle right, bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right. So all you have to do is click onto one of those squares, and that'll move the main base of your text to that area of the document. Now, in terms of pages, you'll normally just want the watermark across the entire document, but if not, then you're able to select the range of pages that the watermark will be applied to. And then you can preview it on the right-hand side. And if you're happy with it, then just click Apply. In terms of adding an image watermark, the steps are largely the same, but I'll walk you through it anyway because there are some minor differences anyway. So again, open the PDF that's stored in OneDrive or SharePoint and select Edit at the top. Again, click on Watermark at that top menu. And then this time, click on the Picture tab. And then the big blue button that says Add Picture, click into that, and that'll let you insert an image of your choice. Similarly to the text method, you can adjust the size, or it's in this example, it's called scale, the transparency, and as well as the rotation of the image itself. And again, for position, you've got that same 3x3 grid. So just click on whichever of those squares you want the image to be based. With the picture watermark, you get a further check mark that lets you save whether or not you want the watermark to be shown for printing as well. So you can check that on or off depending on what you expect or need in terms of printing as well. So again, just preview it on the right hand side, and if you're happy, click apply. Okay, so there's a few reasons, well, there's many really, that you might want to add a watermark. So being able to do so as easily as this might be a bit of a game changer. So firstly, there's copyright protection. Depending on your line of work, this could be a crucial part of your day-to-day. And these watermarks mark the document as your intellectual property, which will hopefully discourage unauthorized use. Additionally, a visible watermark can deter people from sharing it or modifying it without permission. Branding, you can easily add your logo or company name for a more professional and consistent look throughout your documents, whether that's internally or externally. Confidentiality notices, labels such as confidential or draft or internal use only, clearly communicate the document status. Again, whether that's for your own use or when you're sending sending documents out to your customers, this clarity just keeps everyone on the same page and everyone understands what state the document is in. And lastly, you can include a very clear event or time-sensitive information by marking the documents with expire soon or it's a 2025 edition to reflect time relevance. Now, I'm sure that there's many other reasons and use cases that I'm sure many of you guys can think of that I haven't talked about just now, but hopefully it just shows the importance of watermarks and highlights how useful this feature might be moving forward in the future. It also ties in quite nicely with that previous feature, so you can quickly save a file as a PDF and then directly add watermarks in as necessary. I'll just note here that applying the watermark will completely change the PDF, so making it a permanent version of that file because the watermark is superimposed onto the content. So if you're unsure about it or you're just playing around with the options, then maybe it's worthwhile saving an additional copy of the original PDF so that you can continue playing around with those different settings. We're going to be moving on to Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft are introducing a new last read and newest jump buttons for chat messages. This is a fairly straightforward update, but I always welcome these sorts of quality of life improvements. As you can see in the screenshot here, depending on where you are in the chat, you'll be given the option to jump to the newest message in the chat or jump to the last message that you read. So let's say you've jumped into a chat that you don't use very often. Maybe you've got it muted because you just need to be aware of what's going on in there, but you don't use it very often. Then you might end up seeing lots of messages that perhaps don't mean very much without context. And rather than having to scroll to the bottom or wherever you've got the latest messages set, you can just jump there with one click. With regards to the last read, this will be very useful when you've been in a meeting or on annual leave or just away from your desk for a few minutes and you miss a few messages. So you can make sure that you don't miss a single message by just clicking that jump to last read button. So you can pick up where you left off, allowing you to catch up on anything that you might have missed. But that's not all. There's also going to be the addition of customizable default behavior as well. So you will be able to select how you want Teams chats to work for you. Simply head to your settings. So that's the three-dot menu next to your profile picture within Teams. Then choose the chats and channels section. Then if you scroll down a little bit to find the chat section, then after the rollout, you'll see the extra options that are on the right-hand side here of this screenshot. And then there you have it. You just get to choose the box whether when you open a chat, it'll either take you to the last read message or newest message by default. And then you get the jump option to jump around a bit quicker that way as well. So there's not a huge amount to this update, but it will hopefully help everyone to navigate Teams chats just that little bit easier and quicker, which will add up in the long run. This is due by the end of this month. All right, next up, Copilot is coming to a couple more of your favorite Microsoft Office apps. Now, last month, I talked about Copilot being used to help you prioritize your Outlook inbox. So if you missed that, make sure to go to our YouTube channel to find out more and see if any of the other updates that you might have missed. And the update that I'll take you through just now should link into that quite nicely, improving your Outlook experience on the whole by cutting through some of the extra info. So you will soon be able to have Copilot summarize your Outlook email attachments. This is said to work with PDF, Word, that is the .docx files, and PowerPoint, which are the .pptx files. And it's said to work without even having to open the attachments at all. So all you need to do is open the email with an attachment, then select Summarize from the attachment's three-dot context menu. Now, as you can see in the screenshot, the attachment summary will be shown below the existing summary of the email itself, which is inside the Summary by Copilot section. This feature is going to be coming to Outlook for the web, new Outlook for Windows and Mac, as well as Outlook for Android and iOS. It's important to note that the Copilot, this feature within Copilot won't be able to summarize encrypted files or files protected by Microsoft Information Protection. Now, as with all of the Copilot summaries, it'll give you a succinct overview of the content of the PDF, Word, or PowerPoint file, allowing you to get up to speed at a glance. You'll also be able to ask further questions of Copilot to get any further information that you're looking for, perhaps like deadlines or tasks assigned to you. However, if you prefer, then remember that you can always turn off Copilot within Outlook, because it can start to look a little bit messy with all of these summaries piled up on top of each other when all you want to do is read the actual email itself. Then, yeah, within your Outlook settings, find the Copilot section, and then you can just toggle Copilot off. Now, this one's due between now and late July. And for those of you that were paying attention, you remember that I said Copilot summaries are coming to multiple apps. Well, we've covered Outlook. Now let's see how it's going to look in PowerPoint. So this is another very straightforward update, but as I've said in the past, Microsoft are starting to bring out updates that offer consistency across the 365 stack, which is great news for those of us that use multiple of their apps on a daily basis. And at the very least, I think it's a good sign for the future that they're trying to be somewhat consistent across the board. So just like when you open up a Word document, you will soon get a Copilot summary when you open up PowerPoint files. The summary will be shown proactively to readers, that is non-editors, of a file once every 24 hours. So readers will see a pop-out box on the top right-hand side with a minimized version of the summary with the option to show full summary at the click of a button. You can see on the slide how it expands to show the full summary. The fact that this only happens once every 24 hours is quite nice too, if it is to work on documents that you're editing as well. So if you're jumping in and out of it, working with colleagues, then I could see that being a little bit annoying. So, however, just generally, these Copilot summaries should be great for you or your colleagues getting up to speed quickly with what's happening on each slide and even get a gist for the whole presentation. So my understanding, as I say, is that it's going to be displayed to those without permissions to edit. So if you're sending it to colleagues or to customers in read-only mode, then they'll still be able to get a brief overview of the whole thing before dedicating time to reading it more thoroughly. Now, this is an update that's been in the works for a while now, and it's been pushed back since early April, but it's now due between now and mid-August. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see if they push it back any further. There's a question that just come in saying Copilot email attachment summaries for Microsoft 365 Copilot or Copilot chat. Is it the paid or the free version? My understanding is that it's going to be the paid version. With a lot of these updates coming to Copilot, they tend to be needing the full Microsoft license. But from what I read, it wasn't actually explicitly said one way or the other. So we might just have to wait and see and find out. But I can certainly look into it. Right, up next, we're on to New Outlook for Windows Desktop. Users of New Outlook will soon be able to set custom sounds for new email notifications, email reactions, and even for calendar notifications or reminders. I know there's quite a lot of red boxes on the screen here, but it does cover through lots of settings, and hopefully as I talk through it, it'll be clear enough. If you're anything like me, who can get distracted somewhat easily by a notification sound, an email ping, a Teams message, I think that maybe having a unique sound for specific notifications might help you stay focused on whatever task it is that you're doing. So if you hear a different sound and you can associate it with a less pressing situation, like just somebody reacting to an email, rather than a new email coming in, then you can just focus on, finish what you're doing, finish writing that paragraph, that sentence, and then go and have a look at the notification. So with a lot of these things, it's a super simple way to get to these settings. So just head to your Outlook settings, then to General, then to Notifications, and then scroll down until you find the Mail section, which you can then expand using that little arrow that's next to the On toggle that you can see in the middle of the screen there. Within the section, you can then change the sound for both new email and reaction notifications, which, as I said earlier, will hopefully allow you to distinguish between the two. So perhaps you know that your team like to simply react to an email rather than fully responding to it. So when you hear it, you know it's going to be a less pressing thing for you to react to. Now, if you scroll down a little bit further in the notification setting page, then you will get to the calendar section, which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide here. Within this, you can find the event reminder settings, so you can customize the notification sound for your calendar reminders. Now, from everything I've read, it isn't completely clear the extent of customization available, so I can't say for certain whether or not you'll be able to upload a guitar solo from your favorite song to tell you it's lunchtime, or upload a sound on your colleague's laptop to jump scare them when you send them a message. But my guess is that at the very least, Microsoft will have some pre-saved options, which are just going to be slight variations on the notification sound that we're all just been trained to recognize at the moment, with hopefully a further option to upload custom files as well. You can see in the screenshots that you're also able to test whichever sound it is that you set. So you know ahead of time what you're getting yourself in for and whether it's going to trigger some sort of response or make your eye twitch if it's too grating. And furthermore, you can see within the new email settings that there's also a toggle option to set a custom sound for contacts that you've set as favorites, meaning that you can make sure to respond in a timely manner to your boss or your boss's boss when you hear that very specific notification sound coming into your inbox. Now, I know as humans, we're creatures of habits, so changing the notification sound may lead to more distractions, and perhaps we'll all just end up back at the default. But like I said earlier, I think that there's some potential here to help you cut through the barrage of notification sounds by changing up what you hear for specific notifications. Now, this update is due between the end of June and late July. And just seen a question come in. No problem, Donna. I didn't really answer your question, but hopefully it's something that we can look into. So one coming in from Lauren. Do you know if the new Outlook desktop app allows to open or access shared mailboxes? Yes. From my knowledge of it, you shouldn't be losing any features that we have in current Outlook. As far as I know, it's meant to mostly just be a UI change. So I think you should still be able to access shared mailboxes. If it turns out that you can't and you're having issues with that, then currently you're still able to use, I forget what they call it now, but the older version of Outlook. You can just toggle it off and on and use the one that we're perhaps more used to using. And yeah, I would say have a chat with your IT guys. If it's not working and you really need access to those shared inboxes, then perhaps it's easiest for you to just revert to the old version, and then you'll just have access to everything that way, because you're probably not losing too many features going back the way, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps a little bit, and I hope your IT guys are able to find a solution for that. Another question, just while we're on Outlook, favorites, do they go across Teams and Outlook? Another plan to unify contacts recently. I think at the moment they probably don't, but it's probably worthwhile just checking where you've got favorites set and just see if there is the overlap or not. I know they've tied in quite a lot with the new calendar and things from Outlook and Teams joining together, but I think it's always best just to double check these things. And again, your IT guys will probably know a little bit more about the specifics like that as well. Okay, looks like that's everything for now. So timed well. That's us at the end of the content for today. So I just want to quickly let you know about the next webinar in the series, and that's going to be coming next month. So it'll be taking place on Thursday, the 3rd of July, and you can register for that now on our website, or even through the link that my colleague will post in the chat box just now. We look forward to seeing you there, and if there are any topics or questions that you wish for me to cover in the next webinar, then please just let me know, and I'll of course be happy to have a look. So that should be the link in the chat now. So if you want to go ahead and just make sure that the event's in your diary, then go ahead and register just now. And remember that all of these webinars are recorded and accessible through our YouTube channel and website. So if you've missed our previous ones, then please go and have a look through them and see if there's any features that might be useful to you. And of course, please do share them with your colleagues as well. I'll now just quickly take you through our stakeholder workshop that Bedroq run, called the 8 Rocks assessment. It goes back to the 8 rocks that I talked through right at the beginning of the webinar. Now, it's a stakeholder workshop designed to get consensus on your business priorities. It can be conducted face-to-face or virtually, and it gets your leaders and investors aligned behind the best way to fully assess your IT strategy. Now, important to note, there's no cost implications with this other than a mutual investment of time. So if you're an IT leader at your organization and you need a bit of backup to prove to the CFO that you need to make an investment into your IT, or perhaps you're just looking at ways that you can better use your existing investments, well, we're happy to look at all of these things. So please just let us know if it's something that might be of interest to you, and we'll be happy to set this up and introduce you to the team that will walk you through the process. Now, we do have some time for Q&A. I may have already gone through all the questions a little bit earlier, but let me just have a quick look and see if anything else has come through. Okay, so yeah, looks like I have covered everything. So I hope that I was able to help a little bit on that front. So if you do have any more questions, perhaps that come to you while you're looking through the fact sheet later today, then please just feel free to reply to the email that I'll send out with the recording. And as always, I'll be happy to help with any queries about the content in this webinar or anything else, and we'll look to cover your suggestions in the future as well. And just a quick reminder about the cybersecurity stuff. If it's on your mind and you want to talk to us to find out more about how we can support you as an organization to improve your cyber resilience, then please also just reply to that email that I'll be sending out later today, or send me something directly or through the website. And again, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Goodbye.